Were you planning to go anywhere today? Because someone who was meant to be here doing the papers, actually, today, was Pete Price up in Liverpool. Morning, Pete. You couldn't make it down.
I couldn't make it down at all. And can I break one of the famous myths now because of the pandemic? When people are on screen, as I am now, at this time of the morning, yes, you're right. I've got a beautiful top on, but me pyjama bottoms.
Absolutely true. I think I did 2 years of doing Zoom things, and I was just wearing my jeans.
On a serious note, I was supposed to be there today. I couldn't get down. I wish they wouldn't call it a three-day strike. It's not a three-day strike at all. It goes on. It goes on each day in between, and it's absolute chaos. It was chaos the week before. My train was 4.5 hours late. It's got to be changed. And the sad thing is about the whole rail strike, it affects people that are the ones that suffer most, ordinary people. Now, 5.5 million plus people, and I was one of them, could not work through the pandemic. And now we're getting the chance to work. We can't work at all because of the chaos. People going on holiday, people going to Glastonbury, people going to tennis. People are having major, major problems. So it affects the real people in the world. Now, they say that they kept the trains going all the way through the pandemic. Well, they did indeed, and it's fantastic they did. But they hardly worked, as in there was no passengers because nobody was out there. But those people who worked had structure to their life. They weren't stuck indoors, so they had a better life than other people did have. The people on furlough, they were the ones that did a little bit better. The problem is, and Mick Lynch, I think, is a great union leader. He's fighting for their pensions and rights and redundancies. That I understand, and I think he's doing a great job for them. But every single person wants a pay rise. Everyone. We're all worried about the cost of living, whether you're a pensioner, whether you're young, whether you're a student, whatever. There's got to be another way of doing it. But we've been in a pandemic. People keep forgetting. We've been in the most terrible time ever. Not just us, but other countries. And this is a time where we've got to bring passengers back into London and Liverpool and Leeds and Manchester and Birmingham. We've got to put lifeblood back into the cities, to give jobs, to put money in the shops. We've got to do it. I understand the lads. And you can imagine the picket lines in Liverpool are very strong. They're very union orientated here. And I applaud them and I understand. But there's got to be another way of doing it. And this is just the start. There's going to be chaos. I hate even painting this picture, but there's going to be chaos. I am distressed that I'm not there today because I love working GB News. I should be sitting next to Anne Diamond, and I'm really sad about it. And I'm just one. Thank goodness I've got a little bit of money put away and a pension. But I would like to work, please.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of focus on London with all of this, Pete, and understandably so. There's been tube strikes as well, and sort of the capital gets very congested, though perhaps not as congested as some people feared. But what about places like Liverpool and those places around the country? I know a lot of places in Wales as well just seem to have been sort of cut off entirely from the West Coast main line, for example. I mean, are we seeing a lot of smaller communities just being sort of left in isolation, and yet unless you've got a car?
Completely, Stephen, completely. Thank goodness the weather's good for people to at least walk somewhere and go to a shop. But, excuse me, a lot of people are isolated and have come out of isolation because of the pandemic, and now they're back into isolation. And it's also people's health and well-being. You know, people came through this pandemic. We'll never get to the bottom of anybody's mental health problems and how they coped. I was lucky I could get out and about because of the job I do. I was allowed out and I structured my life. When you worked, you structured. But now, all of a sudden, it's all shut down again. And believe me, it's not a 3-day strike in any shape or form. It's more than 3 days. It's chaos on either side of the days. So I don't know, but I understand everybody wants to get more money because of the situation in this country and the world. It isn't just us, but there's got to be another way of doing it.
Yeah, now you say that there's got to be a better way. Why can't somebody come up with a better way? And it appears not. Yet again, we have experienced negotiators on both sides who seem to walk out on each other. after losing their tempers with each other or getting to a stalemate. And then the unions are left with no other weapon, really, other than strike action. You say there has to be a better way, but it appears that nobody is able to think of one.
It's interesting you say that, Anne. Sorry about this. Wouldn't it be nice to know the truth of what went on at the meetings? Because we get the spin doctors spinning everything. We don't know who actually owns the railways anymore. We don't know where the government stood in that. I think they paid out 16 billion to the industry and to the employees. So we never get to the bottom of the story. I think Mick Lynch is about one of the best union leaders I've seen around, and he's fighting for his members, and rightly so. But then we hear that the planes are going to be going on strike, all of them at different times in August and July. I mean, people's well-being, they've just suffered for 2.5 years in a pandemic. And it really is scary times. I wouldn't be a politician to save my life.
At least you'd be straight talking about it, Pete. Good to see you this morning. Enjoy sunny Liverpool. Wish we were there with you.
I'm back next Saturday.
Jolly
yes.
good. Excellent.